hi again.
Yeah, we're going to do all of that.
So hi, my name is Kim, and after 11 years of marriage, I have finally taken my husband's last name. You know, time to commit. Joyride was over. So I decided to do it, even though it was a hard decision, because my husband's last name is Gass. G-A-S-S, Gass. Which is a fine last name for my husband, Scott. But I was not as eager to become Mrs. Scott Gass. Oh yeah. So instead, I decided to hyphenate and compromise. So I am Kimberly Hall Gass. The G is silent. Wait for it. So some of you might ask if the G is silent for my husband also. Well, that depends on the day. I told that joke to my mother and she's like, sweetie, I just love where you say the H is silent. I was like, no, Ma, I didn't just change my name to All Gas. My husband said that depends on the day. So, my husband is 14 years older than me, because I have daddy issues. I told him since I was the young hot wife that I was a trophy wife. He looked at me and said, yeah, participation trophy. It hurt, but he gets points for comedy in our house. Ours truly is a marriage of convenience. He was my roommate. It was very convenient not to have to move any of my stuff and to marry the man already on my couch. My mother told me to marry for love, not money. So instead of a sugar daddy, I got a sweet and low. My mother, who's on husband number 3, definitely the woman to give me advice, did not marry for love or money, but for medical benefits. Because she said, if you marry a doctor, you get one doctor. If you marry for medical benefits, you get the entire hospital. So I love being married because I don't have to care if a guy thinks I'm hot or if I've said something dumb, which of course never happens. But usually what happens is I have some young hot guy come up to me, because I still got it, and goes, hey, you look familiar. Are you one of my mom's friends? Yep, still got it. So the reason I love being married so much is when I come home, I can take out the hairpiece, take off the fake eyelashes, the push-up bra, the Spanx, you know, let gravity have its way with me, because I'm a natural beauty. And no matter what all this looks like, I am still the hottest thing my husband is allowed to be with. This is as good as he gets. It's a very comforting thought, let me tell you. So, at what age do your thighs decide to become conjoined twins? My thighs haven't separated in years. Of course, I am married. They were never like this in college. You know, I told my husband I needed to buy some Spanx because I was really tired of my thighs chafing when I walked. And he was like, well, why don't you just get smaller thighs? Yeah, I didn't get this body by trying. He was like, well, fine, you know, why don't you just walk so your legs don't rub together? And I was like, yeah. That's the look I'm going for. So we do have a beautiful daughter, Bubbles Gass. No, I'm just joking. I wouldn't be that mean. Recently, she has become the Night Stalker. You know, when you roll over in bed and you see this? It's a very disturbing way of waking up. So I asked my mom what my dad used to give us when we couldn't sleep, because I remember going and seeing him and he'd give us some type of herbal remedy or a vitamin or something. And she goes, oh no, sweetie, that was a sleeping pill. You know, those sedatives worked great. You girls went right to bed. And she's like, you know, for the cough, brandy is great for the baby or you, whoever needs it more. And that's when I realized I have no idea what I'm doing as a parent. But neither did my daughter. Neither did my daughter. She won't either. Neither did my mother, so she'll survive. So recently, we went to my daughter's new school, because it's a big year, kindergarten, big kid school, oh yeah. So we went to go check it out. As soon as we walk up, we see a giant hole in the slide. Looks like you would sever a kid's leg off if they went down it. But Luckily, they had chain link fence over the top because, you know, safety first. So, and then we looked at the rest of the playground equipment, and it was so rusted, it looked like it had been maintained when I was born. So my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, you know what, this is ridiculous. We are not sending her here. She's going to private school. So I went home and I researched all the private schools in our area. And I went up to my daughter and I said, sweetie, we're going to get you a tetanus shot and you're going to love your new school. So some days you just have to learn to entertain yourself. I work in a dental office where I get the privilege of calling insurance companies all day. It's a pleasure, living the dream. So some days I like to press 2 for Spanish, especially if I'm calling one of the southern states, because I get to hear this. Gracias para llamando del Dental of Texas, por favor, presione número 2 para español. It's fabulous. I recommend it. It makes you laugh every time. So I have learned that I do not have as good a control of the Spanish language as I like to think I do. When I was an exchange student in southern Spain, I told my host family that I was hot. Estoy caliente. And they said, no. You can't say estoy caliente. That says you're hot. Like spicy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am so embarrassed. Estoy muy embarazada. I am so pregnant is what that really means. Which made perfect sense to my host family since I was spicy and pregnant now. It's great. So I have learned that when you are speaking any language, enunciation is very important. Recently, my daughter was running around the grocery store singing, Uptown, funk you up! Uptown, funk you up! We know what word she wasn't enunciating properly. Yeah, that's a joy at the top of her lungs. She's a great singer. So, the best though is in her Spanish class, they do these cute little songs, it's adorable. Well, she was learning the ocean theme. So she learned the word for seal, foca. Yeah, imagine 6 5-year-olds running around going, foca, foca, foca! I was the only parent on the floor dying and I did not understand why they weren't getting it. Well then, they learned the words for up and down, arriba, abajo. Except for when my daughter said it, it was arriba, a butthole, arriba, a butthole. I was like, oh, please do not teach them to say seal down. I'm not allowed to say what that really combines to. I'll let y'all figure that one out. So I am Kim. I am still your MC, but also please vote for me. And just remember, there is no such thing as an embarrassing event, just a fantastic story for once the pain wears off.